We're being talked now about fear. The fear that we as advocates will pretty much always have when we're going to court. All right, let's just start by telling those who are watching this video the sorts of things that you have experienced or know about by way of fear and anxiety in performance. What have you had?
Shaking, trembling hands, especially when holding things.
Right. Shaking. How about you?
Creaking voice and cramps.
And how soon before you have to perform are you aware of the cramps?
Probably an hour or so before.
Okay. And you, man, what about you?
I tend to talk really quickly, I get excited, and as I'm talking quickly, my voice gets higher and kind of runs away from me, and I expel a lot of nervous energy by pacing.
People get. Let's move on now to the next section. Now we know the kind of problems that any of us can have. First thing we've got to recognise is we're going to have those problems for the rest of our lives. They'll stop when we stop, just before they close the box. Meantime, what we've got to do is work out ways of masking these problems that we have so that other people aren't aware of them. It doesn't matter that we're still shit scared. It only matters if other people can see it. Now, taking the voice one, because that's far and away the most common, that's a problem you've had.
Yes.
What's a really simple method you think might work that you can take to a podium with you, put in your notes, that will slow you down?
Well, writing a big note for myself would be really helpful. Have a reminder.
Now note that that particular note, that big note, is written with a thick marker pen and it's vertical. For some reason, not known to me, that will work when writing the same message across the page has no effect at all. That's the simplest method. If you've got lots of notes, like a trail notebook or something, photocopy it a lot of times and slip it in every couple of pages. Let's move down to the more physical stuff. As you said, you're a person who, if I gave you a clicking biro, you click it. So, since you're the biggest problem, let's make it the biggest solution. Come on out.
Yay!
Now, over here, Beth. As a person who exhibits your anxiety through your hands and your fingers, left to yourself, you will do this, or you'll do this, or you'll start masochism.
No, I hope not.
All right. Now, this one's really easy. See this?
Right.
Okay. What I want you to do is put your hands behind your back and keep your finger going. Vary your finger rate. So keep your finger where the cameras can see you and ask me questions at variable voice speed. Can be any questions you like.
Where are you from?
I'm from Australia.
When did you get here?
4 days ago.
How long are you planning to stay?
Another 4 days.
What do you do for a living?
I train people to succeed in courtrooms.
Are you good at your job?
Don't know yet. One of the things you may have noticed if you're watching this is that my voice speed became responsive to hers. In other words, as she slowed down, so did I. Worth remembering when you're cross-examining, because it gives you so much more time to think about your next question. Let's up the ante on this one more. Would you mind slipping off those thongs?
They're flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
All right. Now, at this stage, any person who's a foot fetishist should turn off the video and leave. All right, now, I want you just to move those beautiful toes up and down a bit. Okay? Try doing it quickly and then deliberately slow it down. I mean, our grandmothers who used treadle sewing machines would have no problem understanding this. And people who go on walking machines who are out of condition would also have no problem understanding this. Now, instead of using our fingers this time, I want you to do the same exercise, talking to me, getting information from me, but syncing your toe movement and your voice speed. Go.
What color is your shirt?
It's a orangey pink colour.
Do you like orange?
No, this was the first time in my life my wife's had me wear this colour.
Why did she pick out this color for you?
As she says, it'll keep other women away.
Has it worked?
Oh yes.
Does your wife employ any other tactics to keep you to herself?
She does.
What does she do?
Well, she'll ring me on the mobile phone to find out where I am at all kinds of times of the day and night.
Has she rung you today?
No,
Why not?
she doesn't know I'm here. And just as movement is purposeful, so non-movement itself has to create an impression. So how do we get a nice, solid non-movement that we, the actor, know is going to stay that way until we consciously choose to move it? Best way is to put your feet apart, about the same distance as if you were riding a skateboard or a snowboard or a surfboard, and then balancing deliberately on the balls of your feet so that you feel a triangulation that goes from the feet distance apart up to something in the centre of your head. You'll find that if you do that, consciously pushing down through the balls of your feet, that everything above your waist stops moving around and your feet also stop moving around. An important variation on this is that you must position your feet deliberately so that they face towards the target audience that you most wish to impress. So for example, if at a particular time you are aware that it is the jury who must be seen to be the focus of your physical attention, then your feet must face towards the jury, even if the upper half of your body is spinning around towards the witness or the judge or some other third party in the courtroom. Let's try that. Can you come out?
Sure.
Now, we don't normally stand with our feet this far apart, so we're doing something that doesn't come naturally. And particularly in the case of women, it's more likely that women will stand with their feet closer together than guys. You quite often see guys who stand like this. This is more usual for women. So you need to put them slightly apart. Let's imagine that the judge is your colleague over there, and turn slowly towards her so that your feet are facing towards her. And put them apart where you feel that as you press through the balls of your feet, that you feel particularly solid from the waist up and you have no tendency to sway to left or right. Okay. Now, having done that, your hands are right beside you at the moment. Is that comfortable for you? Now, I'm behind you. Does she look comfortable in that position?
Sure.
If she put your hand behind your back now, as your friend did before, start turning your thumbs. Does she look more or less in control to you with her hands behind her back?
More.
More. Turn and face your other friend and do the same thing. That is, put your hands beside you first up. Press down through the balls of your feet. You've seen her now. Now put your hands behind your back. Slowly turn your thumbs. Is she more stable to you, audience, with her hands behind her back or not?
She's more stable.
With her hands behind the back.
With her hands behind the back.
All right. Now notice, thank you very much, if you'd like to go back,